Hello, welcome to Tasting with Matt and Mike. Mike Veach, and this is my partner in crime, Matt Kohorst.
Hello.
And today we're going to try something different. We're going to call it the Stitzel-Weller Challenge. We have a decanter of Old Fitzgerald bottled and bond that was made in made in spring of 60 and bottled in the fall of 66.
6-year-old. Okay.
6-year-old. This is real Stitzel-Weller whiskey, and we're going to see which of these two other products tastes the most like Stitzel-Weller.
Right, so we've got, this is the Rip, right? Rip.
Yeah, that's Old Rip Van Winkle made by Buffalo Trace, and this is the wheated bourbon made by Wilderness Trail.
Awesome. So if you had to guess, how much would you think this bottle would be?
Oh, this bottle that we're looking at here?
Prices.
I've seen this bottle sell for as much as $3,000.
Oh my goodness. It's a cool bottle. Awesome
Yes.
looking bottle.
So
Alright.
let's smell it. Oh, that is just so good. It's got that wonderful Stitzel-Weller. I call it pretty much a apple pie sundae. You know,
Yeah.
you got ripe apples, you've got caramel, you've got vanilla, you got a little hazelnut, maybe even a little
I
pecan.
mean, it gets sweeter.
And it just gets better as it breathes. Now remember, we don't want to drink this whole thing. We're going to take a sip. We're going to be able, we want to come back to be able to compare it with these other two.
Okay. Sounds good.
So let's. Oh, that is so good.
Yeah. Oh, that finishes.
Oh yeah,
The
that
candy apple. Like you said, yeah, it's like
candy apple with a little bit of oak and a little bit of baking spices like cinnamon and nutmeg and.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best finishes I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, it
I know
makes
you like a
so silly.
spicy bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
So you like a spicy bourbon, not like a fruity bourbon. This it's got it both.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like amazing, and
It's got that old leather tobacco flavor that you get from these older whiskeys from the 60s and such.
Yeah.
You know, you get a lot more. It's just, this was distilled at a lower proof. This went into the barrel at 107 proof. It's still getting a lot of flavor from the grains.
Yeah.
It's just really good whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try for cranberry real quick, just to get us
Oh, what was the proof on this one?
100 proof, bottom to bottom.
Bottom. Okay.
With the cranberry, to me, it really brings out that old leather tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not as fruity.
Right.
Maybe a little more peppery spice than the baking spice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like that.
Mhm.
In my finishes. Yeah, and it added maybe a hint more like caramel vanilla-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. Really
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So let's try it with pecan, see what it does. To me, that brings out some notes of chocolate
Mm-hmm.
and definitely that apple, hazelnut,
Mm-hmm.
candied apple, flavor just really comes forward.
Mm-hmm. I think it spices it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But
It's not as peppery as it
right,
was
it's
with
more like the baking spice.
more like the baking
Yes.
spices.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very
let's
good stuff.
cleanse our. So now we're going to go to the Rip Van Winkle 10-year-old, 107 proof. This is made at Buffalo Trace. This is the current product that they've modeled to be as close to
What we're getting right here.
right, but it's not. I mean, it's a higher barrel entry proof. It's probably a higher distillation proof. It's got a lot of little things that are different Not as much malt.
Looks a lot different.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is 10-year-old. That's 6.5. You know, and I would say they're almost the same color.
They are kind of almost the same color, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that barrel entry proof. You know, this is like 114. That's 107.
So they cut it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have the same nose at all.
It doesn't. It's more muted, not as complex.
Yeah, not as complex. I mean, you still get some of that apple. You still get some of that apple. You get some of that caramel. I mean, it's a good whiskey. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with this whiskey. Other than the price. I think that's selling on the market now. If you can find it in a liquor store, it's going to be $80-$90. Most likely you're getting it on the secondary market for $300.
Yeah.
So. Thinner. Yeah, I mean, you would think at 107 proof versus 100, they'd have about the same mouthfeel, but this it tastes more like it's watered down compared to the.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's like I'm getting like hints of cinnamon. It doesn't taste much like it. I wouldn't.
No, it doesn't taste a whole lot like the Stitzel-Weller at all.
The finish it burns. It's not bad. You know, it's good.
Yeah.
But I'd say
it's more wood driven.
Harsh. Yeah.
You know, that's one thing. There's wood flavors in the Stitzel-Weller, but it's not the dominant flavor.
Right, and I like that, not having wood as the dominant.
Right.
Some people probably like that, but that's not.
Yeah, this is more tannic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're getting a little bit more of that bitter wood tannin.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try it for cranberry and see what that does.
I think that helped it.
You think it did?
That gave it a little bit more fruity
Yeah,
flavor.
it did give it a little bit more of the fruity flavor. It did give it a little bit less of that bitter wood tannin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it kind of took away all that. Yeah, that tannin.
So let's cleanse our. Try it from behind. Well, that brings the wood tannins back.
Brings the wood tannins back. I would say of all three, that to me tasted most like this with the nut. Because it added some of that chocolate that we were talking about earlier. It gave it a little bit of that chocolate flavor.
Yeah.
Actually, with the nut, I think it was kind of maybe my favorite version of the Old Rip.
Right.
I mean, I could drink it straight too. But yeah, I mean, it's really good.
So let's try it side by side with the.
Okay. Yeah.
Cleanse our palate. Okay, let's take a sip of the Rip.
Okay.
Straight up. You take a sip of the Old Fitz. Big difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're just getting so much more complexity out of the Old Fitz, you know.
Yeah.
It's just by far like the better.
Yeah.
I do love Wilderness Trail.
Yeah, so this is the last one. This is the Wilderness Trail Wheated Bourbon.
I think for me, and I'm still a novice, but the artisan distilleries, I think this is definitely like one of the top.
Right.
I mean,
This is
there's
112
Fearless
proof.
Yeah, and Wilderness Trail are like I think my two favorite.
Yeah. this is 4 years, 5 months old.
Yeah.
It's a
Would you
weeded
consider
bourbon.
Michter's artisan? But they're bigger than that now, right?
Yeah, they're what I
Some
call a
type of-
mid-major.
Yeah, okay, there we go, yeah. 'Cause I would say they're probably my favorite right now, you know, as far as everything they've done has always been a huge hit.
Yeah, Michter's, Wilderness Trail, and actually I think New Rift is doing a lot of really good
New Riff
stuff.
is good too, yeah.
But
Out of Newport, right there?
yeah,
Yeah.
but this is their weeded bourbon. It's a sweet mash versus a sour mash. It's 112 proof. It's the highest proof of the
It's a high proof.
But the nose,
Nose is different.
very different from any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I should say this is a barrel pick by Liquor Barn.
Okay.
So it's a single barrel.
I'm getting hints of like that wheat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This one tastes more like, or smells more like, I would think a weeded
Right.
would smell. 'Cause I'm
So let's out of curiosity, let's smell it versus the.
okay. I mean,
The
hard
old
not to
Fitz.
just
The
drink
old
that
Fitz
Old
is
Fitz.
still the best. But on the aroma alone, I'd give the Wilderness Trail over the Van Winkle.
I would
As far
too.
as-
I would too.
As far as smelling like the old Fitzgerald.
What I think is interesting is like sniffing all three of them. This is very different from those two. This is closer smelling to the old Fitz, but it's missing things. It's missing components. You know.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a little more one note.
I don't know. I think the Wilderness Trail smells closer to the old Fitz to me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting that same kind of vanilla apple. It's not quite the same. There's a fruitiness to it that you don't get from the old Fitz. That's not apple. I want to say peach or something along those lines. Apricot.
The more citrusy kind
A
of.
little more citrusy,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's taste it. You know, highest proof, but
That's a smooth.
it's smooth.
You can't tell. You can't tell it's over 110. Was it like 112? I think.
Right, 112.
That's just delicious.
Not as tannic as the old Fitz. I mean, as the old Rip.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's only 4 years old versus 10, so it's not going to
Right.
be as tannic.
Mm-hmm.
But flavor-wise, I'm getting a lot of the same things I'm getting out of the old Fitzgerald. There, I'm getting that apple. I'm getting a little caramel. I'm getting a little bit of baking spices.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm getting a little chocolate even. That's right
yeah,
here.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
let's try it with cranberry. Oh, that really brings out that apple again, just like it did in the old Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of brings out a pepper spice, just like the old Fitzgerald.
Yeah. I'm getting that more peppery.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, it's gonna be a tough one.
So let's try it with a pecan. That really brings out the chocolate, just like in the old Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm. It brings out like, and that finish turns back into like that baking spices.
Right. A little cinnamon nutmeg.
Okay. So right now you're saying you think the Wilderness Trail
It's more like,
is more like the.
so let's see, old
Side by
Fitzgerald
side here.
versus side by side.
All right.
Let's try the Wilderness Trail.
Okay.
The Old Fitz is still better, but not by much. I'm going to have to say that Wilderness Trail tastes more like the Old Fitz, Stitzel-Weller Old Fitz, than the Rip Van Winkle 10-year-old.
I would say so, but not by much. Not by much. It's a close one there.
You think the Old Rip is close to the... I think the Old Rip with the pecan tasted a whole lot more like...
Yeah. So I think just neat. I think you're right. Yeah, I think the Wilderness Trail takes... Right. Yeah, if you go with
and here's the big advantage. You know, this one I said runs for about 80, 90, $100, whatever. Yeah. If you can find it.
Yeah, and
if you can find it, that's the key. This is like $50, and you can find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you're looking for something that tastes like this, go with the Old Wilderness.
You're saving money, and it's readily available at any local liquor store, pretty much definitely around.
That's right.
Kentucky area.
Yeah, and Buffalo Trace is evidently never going to make Weller Van Winkle products readily available again. So go for the Wilderness Trail.
There we go. I'm going to enjoy some more of this.
Yes, let's finish off this. So, cheers.
Cheers.